Yeah, we like these fantasy football players we're going to discuss today, but there's a big but here, and we're going to talk about what that but is. Before we get into all that, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video. Visit the link in the description for the merch store. I am wearing Kenny's favorite t-shirt, the money laundering t-shirt, which you can get at the merch store. You can get all that and many other things, as you can see here. 20% off sale. So we've had 15% off sale recently. Now 20% off sale. We have our Watson and Tucker massage parlors, 100% USD man. We have a bunch of t-shirts. You can change the colors of all of them. You can get them in long sleeve t-shirt. You can get them in hoodie, women's tank top, and infant onesie. So if you want to get a money laundering infant onesie, you can to get to your baby nephew. You can piss off your sister and just see how that reaction goes. You can go to Amazon, buy my books. The most recent one is Jerks of the College Years, where I made fun of people I met at Penn State. I was there for 6 years, so I had a lot of writing material, as you can imagine, and I had a lot of fun writing it. So I think you guys would have a lot of fun reading it. Also, please consider super chats, super stickers. Like, really, that's the best way to support the show. I can't say enough like how much you guys have helped out. John Sanders, Slew, and Armac last week. You guys have been so great. Just really appreciate it. So anytime you guys super chat us, it's like 8x what we normally would make with these horrible YouTube ads. So please help us out. So we're joined today once again by Kenny from thecapIsFake.com, as you can see on the screen here. Kenny, how's it going?
Bro, I'm just living in a world where the salary cap is fake, and it's fantastic. I was up today at 6:15 a.m. and had lots of meetings and random stuff today, and so I'm like, I got to take a nap. I'm like a 4-year-old, and I'm like, if I don't take a nap, I'm not going to survive tonight. So I took a nap from 3 o'clock to about 4:03, and I'm going to feeling pretty good. I'm also have now converted. I am now a fan of this drink called Starry. Have you ever had these? Starry? It's basically Sierra Mist redone.
Right there. Right here. This wasn't planned. I have it right here. I don't know why I have it on my desk. I bought a case of it because my wife was like, "Can you buy something other than Pepsi?" Which I also have here. It's the original Pepsi with the real sugar, not the high fructose corn syrup nonsense. So I've been just buying cases of Pepsi because I do these late night shows and I need energy. And so my wife's like, "Can you just buy another soda?" So I bought Sorry because it was on sale, and so I just happened to have the last can here. And it's funny that you said that. It's not planned at all.
Remarkable.
Yeah. There you go. The drink is marketed at Hispanics.
And yo soy de Puerto Rico, so okay, it worked. Good marketing.
Well, I'm not Hispanic, and I bought it too, so maybe it targets Russians too. So, Walt, you sold your house and put it on the Redskins now with the Miller signing, and also you wore that shirt yesterday. Yeah, two things here. So, first, I like the Miller signing. Like, it's cheap. Why not? It can only help. It's not going to hurt. Yes, I wore the shirt yesterday. Sometimes I wear the same shirt 3 days in a row. It's only 2 days, so doing good. If I'm wearing the same shirt tomorrow, we're in trouble because I plan on showering at some point tomorrow. I showered on Tuesday. Usually it's every other day. I don't see the point in showering every day. It just I don't know. I just don't get it. We actually talked about that before we started recording. But no, I don't know. That's why they created deodorant, so you have to shower every day, right?
Amen. That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, is there an overlap between the likes of Russians and Puerto Ricans? Is that a thing? I don't know. Is that like I mean,
it might be. It might be. I don't know. I don't. It's interesting. I know when at my local high school, growing up, there's like a big fight between the Russians and black kids. So I don't know if they like each other, but actually, you know what's funny? Now that I think about it, my dad, he's super racist against everyone, and he's like proud of it. He's like I love being racist. Like he's so proud of it. The only group of people he has ever praised, I've heard him praise, is Hispanics. He's like, I love Hispanics. I'm like, where'd that come from? Because you hate everyone else. He even hates Russians. Even he's Russian. So I don't know. I mean, so maybe there's something to that. It's not a coincidence that I bought Starry.
Your my appreciation for your dad just went up several points.
There you go. There you go. Brandon says they don't have that scary Terry money, but they have Von Miller money. Well, we don't know the Miller contract, but I assume it's like 1 year, $4 million. Like it doesn't affect the Terry McLaurin money. McLaurin, I mean, he's going to be 30 soon, so I get the trepidation there. You don't want to give a 30-year-old, soon to be 30-year-old, like a huge contract, even though he's been great, and I assume he's going to still be great for the next 2 years or so. But you never know. There could be a sharp decline, but I mean, we're talking to the expert who says the cap is fake, so maybe the Redskins should just pony up and pay the money.
Like, I think Terry McLaurin's a good player. I can't imagine he's asking. Who knows what he's asking for? But it just seems odd that you couldn't come to terms with that. Like, he's a really good player and he's a big part of what they're doing. Like, I'm just, if your quarterback's going to take a big step forward in year two, like having a happy, viable receiver is a big deal. I don't know what they're doing. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. It could be resolved. It's only middle of July. Like, if this is like late August and he's still not reporting, then maybe we're concerned. But right now, I'm not too worried. Although maybe we'll discuss it later in this episode. Sue says, I wonder the last time Kenny treated himself to some Indian sprinkle cookies with guys lemonade. I think he's meant girls lemonade, which I've written about in Jerks of the Week. So the neighbors across the street. It's kind of like mind-boggling to me for a second, because the two girls live across the street, and they were selling lemonade, as the little girls do. So I was super hot and like humid. It was like 100 degrees, and I bought a cup of. I was like, how much is a cup of lemonade? They're like $1. I'm okay, I just gave $1, and instead of giving me a regular cup, they gave me like a small Dixie cup, and I was like, okay, thanks, whatever. I wrote about that because I saw from the same house, I saw like this like hot girl emerge from this house. I'm like, I've never seen this person before. Is this like the husband's mistress or something? And then it like dawned on me that this lemonade story was 10 years ago. And like the girls there were 12 and 9. So like the one was like 22 now. I'm like, oh my God, so much time has passed. It just like blew my mind.
You're old.
Yeah, exactly. But around the same time as the lemonade incident, these Indian kids came to my house, and they're like a cookie sale, and they're like, "Do you want to buy some cookies?" And of course, who am I to pass up on cookies? So I bought like sprinkle cookies, and a few weeks later, they came back with it, and they're like, "Sir, here's your cookies." I'm like, "Oh yeah, this is gonna be great." So I opened the box, and it wasn't cookies; it was cookie dough. And so I had to wait until I was married, or at least dating my wife, till she made the cookies. So I waited a few years for that to happen.
What was the cookie dough frozen?
It's frozen, yeah.
For how many years?
Like 3 years.
I don't think it lasts that long, even if it's frozen. I don't think that's how it works.
Well, she made it. I don't know, and it was okay. It's frozen. Nothing could happen.
I don't know the science behind that. That sounds like, even frozen, I don't think I want to eat it.
I think anything frozen lasts forever. That's how I believe things to be true. And again, like when I first started dating my wife, she I bought my house in 2010. It was 2009, but I moved in 2010, and then we started dating 2013. And so she was like going through all my stuff, and she's like, well, like some of the stuff is expired 2011. I'm like, I don't know. Like people just because we would have parties all the time. People would put stuff in my fridge, and I just never would look. So yeah, it just like I just would eat out at like Salad Works like 4 nights a week, and like go to Wawa the 5th night, and go to my parents the 6th night, and like maybe the 7th night I'd splurge and like have like pizza or something. Like that was how I ate. And so I just never checked anything in my fridge when I lived by myself. And so she found like all this old stuff and like had to throw it away. She's like, "Well, this is disgusting." I'm like, "Well, that's how I used to live." So,
well, I'm saying apparently if you deep freeze food, you can keep it indefinitely.
Okay.
And so, according to ChatGPT, you need to be negative 18 degrees or less.
I don't know what the temperature is in my fridge or freezer.
Oh man, no, not nowhere near that. I mean, none of the freezers are that. So, All right. Well, I'm glad you're still alive and you didn't die. You didn't.
Well, I'm still here unless this like I'm really a ghost or something, and you're not talking to anyone. The lemonade stand ripoff makes the 750 hot dog look like a bargain. It really does. Like a small Dixie cup of, I couldn't believe it. They're like, they gave me those like tiny Dixie cup. I'm like, this is $1. Like, it's so I get inflation, but this is ridiculous. Yeah, no, the hot dog's definitely the better bargain. All right, so what we're going to talk about tonight is like players we like, and we drafted them. I drafted them a bunch of these players, but there's like something in the back of my mind or in your mind where we're like, oh man, this could really backfire.
Right.
I almost considered it naming it the Jerry Seinfeld thing. Jerry Seinfeld factor for fantasy, because if you guys watch Seinfeld, Jerry Seinfeld would date a different girl each episode, and he'd find something like one little thing wrong with the girl, and then he'd break up with her. Like, she's too nice, I can't deal with it. She's too nice. So like,
this
so
is me in my entire 20s and 30s.
right. So yeah, I mean, it's sort of the same thing, but I thought that like people who are 30 or younger may not get it because that show aired like 30 years ago. So us old folks remember it. I know you didn't watch it live. I watched it. I watched like the second half of the series live. I didn't watch the beginning, but I eventually watched every episode. I love that show, especially Curb Your Enthusiasm too, which is Larry David's. George Costanza was based on Larry David. So if you just watch the George Costanza scenes, like you could see Larry David in it. So
Right.
yeah. Anyway, yeah. So I don't know if you wanted to go first. You're the one who thought of the topic. So we go 10 to 1. So yeah, you want to kick it off here?
Yeah. Right. So these are all players we've pretty much drafted we like, but slightly there's things. You're right here. There's something back in your head, and for me, I've got one quarterback and one tight end on the list. So I'll start with my quarterback. Okay. Jordan Love for me is my number 10. I love Jordan Love. I think he's a great talent. He can make all the throws. He had great moments last year when he was healthy. The offense looked good. You know, I feel like they've gotten a rhythm with the receivers. Like everything should, like, he just take a step forward. But he's had a couple moments dumb moments. He's also not been healthy. They also the receiving core actually has some injury question mark. What's going to like? There's this part of me in the back of my head that thinks, what if what we saw last year that was good is actually fraudulent? Maybe what if we saw 2 years ago, you know, when they beat the Cowboys in the playoffs and they looked great, maybe that was actually a fraud, and maybe the inconsistency we saw from him last year is actually the norm. And I've drafted him a ton. I've got in best ball, I'm now up to I think I've done 63 drafts now in best ball drafts. And I've got Jordan Love in looking at my player. I've got him in 35% of my leagues. And a lot of my leagues, I got him as my number one quarterback. And I'm just waiting on quarterback and waiting. And he's there. And, you know, I pick 124 or pick 129 or 136. I got him on, you know. So, if he sucks, I'm in trouble.
Oh, man, I haven't drafted him nearly as much. I've done 110 leagues now, and I have taken him 2% of my drafts. I tend to go quarterback earlier. Like I try to get one of the 5 elite quarterbacks. Like I would not do that in a regular like redraft, but I think like getting the upside there, I think is worth it. I don't know if there's that much upside with Jordan Love. Like, I mean, sometimes you have some big games, but like usually he's pretty like he scores in the teens. I don't like, maybe that I'm misremembering, but I remember just like him just being underwhelming in DFS, and like also sometimes like you're talking about the inconsistencies, like he'll have like 2 or 3 or maybe 4 games in a row where he just starts like messing up with his footwork. It's like his footwork gets like really bad and it really costs him. Like I remember the Minnesota game, like was it week 16 or week 17 last year? His footwork was abysmal in that game, and it just led to some mistakes that he made. And I think that had to do with Christian Watson just being out, because like Watson was his deep threat and like there was no deep threat. So I think he like was kind of off. Golden should help, but I don't know if Golden's going to be good. Like there's a chance he is. But there's so many games in college where he just didn't do anything, and then he caught fire at the end, so he could be good for him. But I'm not sure. I just like the other options for QB2 or whatever in that range. So I'm not really getting to him.
You just thanks for making me feel more nervous. Appreciate it.
Well, that's what the show's all about, I suppose. But no, I'm not opposed to Jordan Love. No cookie Jordan Love. I just like the other options in that area. Like I'd rather have Drake May. I think the upside's much higher with him. I'd rather have McCarthy. I think their upside's higher with him as well. Trevor Lawrence, he might be around later, something like that. I like Cam Ward 2 rounds later. But I just never get to Jordan Love. But I feel like if I took Golden or something, you know what I think it is because I never get you don't draft the receivers early, like with McCarthy there's obviously Justin Jefferson and then
right.
Addison. With Brock Purdy, there's the Niner receivers or George Kittle. Once you draft those guys, in my mind, I'm like, okay, I want to pair them with Purdy or McCarthy. There's no one I'm drafting early to pair with Love, and so he just doesn't stick in my mind. I think that's part of the issue there.
I drafted him tonight in a draft as my second quarterback. I actually went Hurts early.
Okay.
And then he was there. Jordan Love was there in the bottom of the 11th, and so I just was like, I went with him. And then my tight ends are Dallas Goedert and Tyler Kraft. So
okay, yeah, I've taken Kraft a bunch recently. He feels like he's going too late.
Yeah,
round 11. All right, so my number 10. I've drafted this guy. Let me see real fast. I drafted this guy a bunch. He is 24% of my drafts, and it is Rome Odunze. So I think the talent is immense there. Charlie, I've said this before, but Charlie Campbell, he's how he speaks to every team. A lot of teams had him very close to Neighbors and Marvin Harrison Jr. So the talent is there. If he was in this draft, I think it would have gone ahead of. I think it would have been the number 2 pick. I think it would have gone ahead of everyone else except for Cam Ward. So the talent's immense, and Keenan Allen's gone. So the production is going to be there, I think. And that's why I'm I think it's going to be there. I love the upside, but I could see him being the number 1 receiver this year. But last year he just didn't do much. He had 700 yards or so, 740, I think. It's a couple of big games here and there, but for the most part, he didn't do much. But then again, the coaching staff sucked. Caleb Williams had immense issues. Things should be a lot better. The offensive line has gotten better. Caleb Williams will have more experience. Ben Johnson will coach him up and will find creative ways to get the ball to his receivers. So I have no issue drafting him in the 6th round. But it's something in the back of my head is what if this blows up on my face,
The Bears receivers were on when we did a list a couple weeks ago. We did players we're not sure about.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I could go either way. I'm not really sure. The Bears, I cheated, and I put all of the Bears pass catchers.
Yes.
As a tied for one. So that's kind of how I felt about Odunze and the rest of the crew.
Yeah, it makes sense, but there's definitely upside. So, all right, who's your number 9?
My number 9 is my tight end. It's Mark Andrews. I love Mark Andrews. I have him ranked my 4th best tight end coming into the year. I've been drafting him a ton. I think I've owned him in 39% of my leagues
Nice.
in best ball, and I think he's great. And I think he's going to come back with a fury based on how the season ended. I expect the Ravens to be, great contenders. There's almost no reason to think this guy is not going to be an elite tight end producer at the tight end position, except what if actually he has the exact opposite mental response to how the season ended? I keep thinking he's going to come back in FU mode. He's pissed. He's frustrated. What if this kind of actually was the beginning of his confidence being shattered and Lamar Jackson's confidence in him being shaken? And then the other thing is what if Isaiah Likely, what we saw from him last year in spurts is he takes the next step to being really good and it's a timeshare. What if it really goes to being a 50-50 or even 60-40? like, okay, all of a sudden Andrews now like is not worthy of being the 4th tight end. He's like the 14th tight end in that case. And so there's like this thing in the back of my mind. I'm like, what? Like, I don't like, but like, I keep thinking this is going to be great. I love Mark Andrews. I'm drafting him like crazy. Oh my gosh, he's probably going to be my tight end in every season long league because I can't believe he's going so late. And then I'm like, but what if Isaiah Likely's legit? And
Yeah.
I'm in trouble.
Yeah, I do think he's going to do well. I have him in 14% of my drafts. I do get it though. I feel the same way as you. Like that, it should serve as motivation. But yeah, like what if he's like seeing a therapist now and like he's he's like so disheveled, like he hasn't shaved in like months, like he hasn't left his house. Like I can see I can see that happening. And you're right about Likely. Like he's very athletic and there's a lot of upside there. And there's a chance that he overtakes Andrews as the top tight end. I have drafted Likely a little bit as well, not as much as Andrews, but I drafted Likely in 4%. So. I just around that area I tend to get my quarterbacks. Like he Likely goes like around 12, whereas Andrews is around 9. So I think that's it makes sense for them to be like that like 3 rounds apart. So
yeah.
My number 9 is Jauan Jennings, and this one hurts me a bit because I was more confident in him earlier in the offseason. But it surfaced recently that Jennings is asking for a new contract, and which is weird because like this is supposed to be his like prove it year to like get a big contract, and like now he's like there's a possibility he holds out now. Like I've taken him in 26% of drafts, which it's a number that's fallen. Like I think it was in the 30s before, so it's like 26%. Part of that has to do with him going earlier because he was going around 7 consistently back in like April, May. Now he's around 6 solidly. But yeah, like he's potential holdout, and also like what if Christian McCaffrey stays healthy all year? Like those are targets that are going to go to McCaffrey and not Jauan Jennings. I still think Jauan Jennings is going to have a really good year if he plays and McCaffrey plays all year. It's not going to be as good if McCaffrey misses time, which I'd be surprised if he doesn't. But like there's a couple things here that are starting to bother me. So what do you think about Jennings?
Should I talk about him now? But he's much higher on my list than he's on yours. Or should I wait for it?
It's well, if he's much higher, let's wait for it because there is a chance that you're just much more worried than I am.
Yeah, so. and I own him in way more leagues.
Okay, well that'll be good. I'm curious to see where you have him exactly. So yeah, let's wait on that. So hold on, we have the boss saying, why are you confident in him being the number 1 over Ricky? I think Ricky has more upside. He was a first round pick and had a strong finish. Yeah, I have Pearsall in more leagues now. I have Pearsall in 35% of drafts. So I've been drafting Pearsall. Plus, like Pearsall's going later. Pearsall I drafted today in round 8. Usually nice. Like mid-round 7. I had this amazing draft today. I actually want to put it on screen for you guys real fast. This draft they hated rookies, so I took I don't know if you guys can see. I took McCaffrey 107. Then I took AJ Brown, and then I thought McLaurin here over Marvin Harrison Jr. because I thought maybe I can get Jaden Daniels, and that's what happened. But then after that, like I guess these ridiculous steals like. Omarion Hampton at 507, he's been going around 4, and I'm kind of like thinking in the back of my mind, like, what if this Najee Harris like fireworks injury is going to impact them, and like Hampton's going to run away with the job? So I'm like, maybe I should take Hampton a little bit here in the 4th round, and he fell to 507. I'm like, what is that? Then Calvin Ridley is 606. He's been going round 5. Travis Hunter fell to 707. Like he's been going 4th, 5th round, like maybe 6th round occasionally. This is the latest I've ever gotten him. Then Ricky Pearsall 806, Emeka Buka 907. I get him in the 8th round. Took Drake May, then the usuals: Tucker Kraft, Garendo, Cam Ward, Ray Davis, Hunter Henry to pair with Drake May, Will Shipley, Pat Bryant, Jarquez Hunter, Tyler Higbee, Jalen Lane to pair with Jane Daniels. So, but these like rounds 5 through 9, I couldn't believe like the values I got there. So. But yeah, Pearsall at 806. That was kind of mind-boggling to see like how he fell that far.
No, yeah, I've had Jennings ahead just because I've just seen Jennings be better, but I think that could shift over the next couple of weeks pretty easily.
Yeah. Ricky over 700 yards on the season, way too low. Yeah, that seems like a good bet. What sports book is that? I'd like to check that out. All right, so your number 8.
My number 8 is Mr. Tyrone Tracy. I think Tracy's a really good running back. Even being a Giant, I have to acknowledge, like, he's a really good player, and was pleasantly surprised and have drafted him a bunch. I've got him in 34% of my leagues. I get to round 9 and 10, and just regularly he's the best player on my board, and I've drafted him obviously more than a third of my drafts. So, of my 63 drafts that I've done, I think it's 63. More than 20 times that he's been the best guy on the board at that moment. And so, yeah. But there's this thing in the back of my mind. It keeps thinking, what if the Giants just suck? And there's just not enough. Production. Like Malik Neighbors, like if they suck, I still think Malik Neighbors is going to produce because he's just so good. I just can't imagine he won't. But I don't think Tracy's in that category. And then the other thing, I'm just like, okay, I draft Tyrone Tracy, but like I'm also nervous that the football gods will just suck my souls out, suck my soul for drafting a Giant a third of the time. And so what if the football gods want to punish me for this? This is a very real concern I have.
You can't go against the football gods. I'm surprised you drafted Tracy so much. That's funny that you said, what if the Giants suck? I'm like, I think they're going to suck. I think there's a good chance they suck. And one of my rules is don't draft players on bad teams, which I violated, unless they're elite, I should say, which I violated with Tracy. I've drafted him 20% of the time. But I don't know. He's very explosive. I think that, like, once you get to a certain point in your draft, I think it's safe. Like I would not take Tracy in like round 6. Pretend Scadabo's not there. Pretend Scadabo gets hurt. Pretend Singletary gets hurt. It's only Tracy. Like Tracy's ADP is going to skyrocket to like round 6, and I wouldn't touch him around 6. But like round 9, where I'm not too concerned about Scadabo or Singletary. Like maybe Scadabo at the goal line, but otherwise, I think Tracy is going to get most of the workload. I think round 9 is like even if he like fails you, like missing on a round 9 pick is not going to kill you. So I'm not too concerned, but I definitely get your point. I actually did think about him for my list because like I said, I've drafted him 20% of the time. So he could have certainly made my top 10. He probably would have been number 11. So we definitely agree on this one.
Yeah, nice.
Okay. My number 8 is Terry McLaurin, which we opened with. And this has to do with the holdout. Like, I don't know how long this is going to last. And like players who hold out, like sometimes they're not fully in shape and it takes them a little bit to get going. And then they suffer an injury. But this could get resolved next week or the week after, and then it'll be fine. Right. But what if this lingers into late August and early September? And then you're like, our real draft, the one we do primarily with each other, and like our other friends, it's usually like, like usually like happens last second where like everyone's like, oh, when are we gonna do this draft? We forgot. And it's like, oh, let's wait till like 2 days before the season starts. And like, what if McLaurin's still holding out then? Like, where does he even go? He probably just falls to like round 6 or round 7 at that point, right? Like, and it's just scary to think like what could happen. But like, like I said, it could be resolved tomorrow. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on McLaurin?
I'm trying to see. I haven't drafted him nearly as much, I don't think, as you have. I'm not as nervous.
Oh, what is your percentage, by the way? I'm asking.
Oh, let me see. Where do I have McLaurin? What was yours, by the way?
I'm 19%.
Oh, I'm certainly less than that. What do I have him here? Oh, wow, pretty low. 12%.
It's close enough.
So, I actually only have Pearsall at 9%. I just realizing looking at anyway, but so I like McLaurin, and I think I've already kind of baked in like that maybe he takes a step back, or maybe that Daniels is not like in my mind. I think where I'm evaluating him, so I'm only getting to him less than you are. How I'm evaluating him, I think, is baking in some of that risk already.
part of like the reason why I have him 19% is because Daniels tends to go around 4, and I always want to stack. And like the same thing happened in this draft I just showed you. It was like, okay, maybe if I take McLaurin, it was McLaurin versus Harrison. I was like, if I take McLaurin, I could get Daniels. So I mean, that's exactly what happened. And then my backup plan was Hurts because I drafted AJ Brown round 2. So just wanted to stack, and it's easy to stack McLaurin and Daniels. Like I feel like that happens a lot.
Right.
I don't know what my percentage own of Daniels is going to look right now. I'm willing to bet it's like 90% too. Like I feel like I just take them together. 14%, so like close enough. Feels like I guarantee like every draft where I've had McLaurin, I've taken Daniels. So that's just how I've done it. All right, so what is your number 7?
My number 7, not gonna be a surprise. This is Mr. Cartavius Bigsby,
Nice.
also known as Tank Bigsby, who I have in 42% of my leagues. I had him higher than that. I had him at 49% at one point, but I pretty much have laid off him. I think he's a great player. I think he's far and away better than ATN. I think Bigsby has all the makings of being a legitimate starting running back. I expect the offense to be better with the new coaching staff, some of the tweaks and changes they've made. I fully expect this guy to take a significant step forward to be a reliable RB2 in fantasy this year and maybe better. Like I think he could be that good. But there's this nagging thing in the back of my mind, and is what if it is just a 3-headed monster? Or what if Trevor Lawrence gets injured? Or what if the coaching staff's not as good? Like you have these like things in the back of my mind. It's just like what if this is just a disaster of a situation, and what I think I see in Bixby never comes to fruition? Like I don't think that's the case. I think there's like in my mind, there's like a 98% chance that this guy is like a league-winning type guy because he's just so valuable when you're drafting him. You know, his average ADP right now is 163 on DraftKings. I mean, it's just stupid. Like, but yeah, there's a 2% of me that's concerned.
I was higher on him as well earlier in this offseason because I thought ATN was going to get traded. Like that's what the rumors said. And now it seems like he's not going to get traded. Now maybe that's just the Jaguars posturing to kind of get leverage, and maybe they'll move him. Like they could maybe move him during the season, like at the trade deadline. And then that'll be great for Bigsby. But like the fact that they haven't done anything about that yet, now it says like, yeah, 3-man committee. Cause like before when we thought ATN would be traded, it was just going to be Bigsby and Tootin. And like that would like Bigsby would have just a great edge there, you know, having experience and stuff. So, like I said, I like them more, but now that they haven't traded ATN, I just haven't gotten to Bigsby at all. I've drafted Bigsby in 9% of an address. And I feel like it's been 0% this past month and a half.
Yeah, I was drafting him a ton early on, and now I've significantly slowed down. I'm still really confident. I think it's highly likely I end up with him in pretty much all of my season-long leagues. So,
makes sense. Yeah, well, hopefully ATN's traded because like it'd be nice to get Bigsby on the field more. He's just much better, like you were saying. My number 7 is another Chicago Bear, DeAndre Swift. I've drafted Swift a lot. I've owned Swift in 25% of drafts, and that terrifies me. I mean, this is a guy who's known for his injury history. He was healthy last year, and you know, for the Eagles a couple years ago, for the most part, you know, he was fine
healthy.
Yeah. So it's been 2 years, and maybe this is the new Fred Taylor. Remember, Fred Taylor was Fragile Fred, and then he had like three consecutive years where he didn't get hurt. So this could be the new Fred Taylor, I suppose. But like the extensive injury history that really concerns me. I do love the upside though. The Chicago offensive line is much better. Ben Johnson, we saw what he's done with his running backs, and Swift has played for Ben Johnson before. So there's a lot to like here, but I'm like, I know it's going to happen. He's going to get hurt in week 3. And then like 25% of my drafts are up in flames. So what are your thoughts on Swift?
I've kind of been mediocre on Swift. So, you know, not up, not down, kind of. Yeah, I think he's fine. I think where he's being drafted, I almost always like one or two of the other running backs. Yeah. And so, but I think he's fine. I only own him in 2 leagues, so you know, 3%. But I'm doing the math here. 3% is only 2 leagues based on the number of leagues I've done.
That's right. That's right.
Out of
Well,
63 drafts, I've only drafted him twice.
now that I'm plus, I'm over 100. I have like less than 1%. Like it was funny to see that. I didn't know they did that. Yeah. All right. So who is your number? We're up to number 6, right? Who's your number 6?
My number 6, I love the player, and that's Mr. Jackson Smith and Jigba. I think he's a phenomenal player. I love the talent. I think he's poised. He runs every route, catches everything. I think he's slightly underrated. He can be in the slot. He can be in the outside. I fully expect this guy. I've got him easily as a top 10 receiver this year. I'm way ahead of the market. I think, his ADP is stupid. His ADP is like 35th overall in best ball, which means, so I've got him in, I have him in 42% of drafts. Yeah, absolutely love him. However, there's a small part of me, and I don't have to say much, just 2 words. Sam Darnold. Gosh. That should make you nervous. Sam Darnold should make you nervous. Then there's a little bit of talk that, JSN's not going to play in the slot as much because of Cooper Kupp. That the system's going to be different and maybe he's not going to be as utilized as much. I don't know if I make much of that stuff. I don't know. Like he's just too good for them not to utilize. Like they're gonna you move them all around. It's Sam Darnold that makes me nervous, and so I'm 97% confident in JSN. But Sam Darnold's enough to make you at least 3% nervous.
Yeah, Darnold had such a great year last year, but he's not going to repeat that. There's no Kevin O'Connell there. There's no Justin Jefferson. Well, I love Jack Smith and Jigbo. He's not Justin Jefferson. He's a better version of Jordan Addison. So he's like a 1.5 receiver. If you're gonna base it on the Minnesota players. So he's definitely gonna take a step backward. And my fear is what if Jalen Milroe comes in and his accuracy is just way off, he's just awful. So that would terrify me more. Darnold, at least he can get the ball to his best receiver. I think that the number 2 and number 3 receivers would struggle more with Darnold not having Kevin O'Connell. I'm fine. I'm definitely fine with Jackson Smith-Njigba. In fact, I've drafted him in 25% of my drafts. I like him quite a bit. Just like you. So I don't have a concern about him. He did cross my mind when I was compiling this list just because I've drafted him so much, but I'm not worried about him. And if you're, you said 2 words, I'll give you 3 words to be more encouraged. And those 3 words are Mr. Jump Cuts. Mr. Jump Cuts is it's not his real name, but this is YouTube guy. He does a lot of fantasy football content. And if you ever watched any of his videos, I don't know if I should say his real name. I don't. Should I do it? I don't know. So his videos are all jump cuts. So he'll say something for 5 seconds, and then jump cuts to something else, and a jump cuts to that, jump cuts to that. It's the most frustrating thing I've ever heard in my life. It doesn't sound like a real person. You said it's all AI. And I'm yeah, that makes sense. And sometimes it screws up too. I feel like he doesn't watch his videos. It's sometimes it jump cuts to something that he wasn't talking about, then it jump cuts to back to what it was. It's just complete garbage. And I feel like his takes are awful. So I when I heard him say he's concerned about Jack Smith and Jigba, I'm that probably means good things for him.
The opposite of whatever he says.
Yeah. Exactly. He's like George Costanza. He does the opposite. Just do the opposite of Mr. Jump Cuts.
So good. Good.
Yeah. Anyway, who's your number 6? Is it 6 or 5? I lost track. Hold on.
Oh, Jason was my number 6.
Oh, okay. So it's my turn. Okay. My number 6 is Isaiah Pacheco. I've drafted Pacheco. I drafted him a lot earlier just because he was going round 8 before the draft. Now he's round 7-ish, maybe sometimes a little earlier. Sometimes he sneaks into round 6. So I haven't drafted him as much ever since his ADP has risen. just because like that's in the area of so many other running backs. Like there's DeAndre Swift, there's Quinshon Judkins not anymore. There Caleb Johnson, there's Travion Henderson, James Conner sometimes sneaks into that range. Like there's just so many running backs there. Whereas before Pacheco was like the last starting running back to be drafted, except for Tyron Tracy and the Jaguar running backs. So I was like, this is just way too late. Pacheco way too late for round 8, but like not so much now. But still, like a fractured leg still seems like pretty dubious. Like what if he doesn't recover? Like he came back last year and just wasn't 100%. Like he just looked so decrepit, and I just assumed that he would be fine for the 2025 season. But we had we've had Ben Wasley from FFDFantasyFootball.com on, and he has like this great track record of giving like late round sleepers. Last year was Tyron Tracy, and I asked him for it this year, and he said Brashard Smith from the Chiefs. And his reasoning was he doesn't think Pacheco is going to necessarily be 100%. And so, like, who could it be if it's not Pacheco? Elijah Mitchell's always hurt. Kareem Hunt's like 1,000,000 years old. Like, Brashard Smith is someone they drafted who can catch passes. And Andy Reid has a history of using late round running backs. I've started taking Brashard Smith in like the 18th or 19th round ever since he gave that recommendation. But yeah, I mean, like that put a concern in my mind. And so I've drafted Pacheco less, but I still have a healthy amount of him. So what do you think about Pacheco?
Yeah, I got him in 9% of leagues. I think his ADP has risen, and so I feel like I've not drafted him a lot. I feel relatively confident on where I have him. So 9%. The other thing I realized, DraftKings, you can see your exposure, but you can also see the amount of money you have tied to your players. Whenever I'm in a competition where there's a higher dollar, I tend to draft a little more serious. When it's like the lower price point ones, I kind of take. And so it's funny. I have Pacheco in 9% of leagues. I have several other players in 9%, but I have like half the amount of money on Pacheco than I do any other player, because I think like I'm willing to draft them when it's like there's like less, the stakes are lower.
That's funny. That's funny. I do the same thing. Like when I'm watching my kids and like they're playing in the pool, the kiddie, not a real pool, the kiddie pool. I'm like, oh, let me do a draft. And like, I know that like, what if my daughter or son slips and falls and like I'll have to stop drafting. Like I do a $3 one, just like it could be a throwaway, but yeah, I definitely hear you. If I'm focused, I do $20 plus, sometimes a little higher. So like, it really depends on what I'm doing too. But I hear that. I think like you weren't drafting as much like before the NFL draft, right?
No, not a draft at all, I don't think.
Yeah, that's exactly why your Pacheco exposure so much less, because like I said, he was going like sometimes round 9, like before the NFL draft. So that's like where most of my exposure is. But then again, that's not the $2 million to first contest either. I think before the draft, when no one knew the bye weeks or no one knew where the rookies were going, that was a little chaotic. And I feel like first place was like 100K or something, because there weren't as many entries,
Right.
Kamiko says Seattle offensive line should double your worries about Darnold. That's definitely a worry. They did draft Gray Zabel in the first round. He should be really good. There's Charles Cross, but outside of that, the Seattle offensive line is pretty bad.
Gray Zabel, nephew of Kenny Ortiz's ex-girlfriend.
That's right. That's what he's famous for.
Great.
It's pretty insane.
I met that kid when he was like 6 years old.
That's crazy. Yeah. You never know who's gonna amount to whatever. All right. So who is your number 5?
My number 5 is Eagles receiver Devontae Smith. I love Devontae Smith, the Slim Reaper. I think he's awesome. I think there's plenty of reason to be confident that they're going to continue that the Eagles offense will continue to roll and get even better. The passing game will get even better. Yeah, I love the offensive coordinator addition of Kevin Patullo. Where do I got Devontae Smith in? Let me see where I got him in. I've got him in 31% of drafts. And so really excited about him. No reason to be nervous, except what if the Eagles passing game doesn't get better? And what if the Eagles offense actually takes a slight step back, or God forbid, what if there's major injury, on the other side, and he's getting double coverage, or what if the Eagles offensive line gets injuries, or what if Hurts gets injured, what if Hurts just forgets how to play football?
You got married. It's over.
I'm like 94% confident that Devontae Smith is a great value where he's being drafted, but then I'm like 6% nervous.
6%. It's funny you say 6%. That's my exposure to Devontae Smith.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We had this discussion about a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago. Where
you're the one that made me feel nervous, actually.
Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. I just think he's going a little too early. Like whenever he's on the board, like I'm like, I like a couple of guys more, but if these guys weren't there, I would take him. Like he goes like late round 4, early round 5, sometimes mid round 5. Like I see like Cortland Sutton. I'm taking him. I see Chuba Hubbard. I love Chuba Hubbard. I'm taking Chuba Hubbard. Metcalf. I'm taking Metcalf over him. The 2 quarterbacks, Burrow and Hurts. I'm taking those guys. It's usually like maybe Zay Flowers. Depends if I have Lamar Jackson, but Zay Flowers he is these insane spike weeks. So I guess so does Devontae Smith, but still, at least Zay Flowers is the number 1 receiver. So it's all those guys over Devontae Smith. But if Devontae Smith's ADP fell to like late round 5 or early round 6, then I would be much heavier on him. So I don't hate him. I just think he's going a little too early.
In the draft I did earlier tonight, I drafted I drafted Hurts, and then I drafted Devontae Smith, and then Dallas Goedert.
Yes.
So I've got that. I've got that two-way stack.
Nice. Yeah, I like that. Like, that's the one way I've drafted Devontae Smith. It's like if I've taken Hurts like really late round 4 and Devontae Smith is there in early round 5, I'll take Devontae Smith. But usually I'm like, I'd rather have a couple other guys. So my number 5 is Aaron Jones, another NFC North running back. I actually bet the Vikings to win the NFC North at 7-1 odds today. Posted a video about it, so you guys check that out. Aaron Jones is a terrific talent. He plays behind an amazing offensive line. The offense itself is terrific. Is just so explosive. Kevin O'Connell is an offensive genius. So Aaron Jones could have an insane season. He could be, given where he's going, like usually late round 6 to early to mid round 7, like he could be like one of the league winners for you if he just has this explosive year and just goes nuts. But he's a guy who has a long injury history, kind of like DeAndre Swift. In Green Bay, it's kind of like, and if then, like when Rodgers was there, like if Aaron Jones stays healthy, the Packers have a great chance to go deep in the playoffs. If not, then they're probably like slightly above average and probably lose in the first round. Like that was how the Packers would roll with Aaron Jones, and like now he's in Minnesota. They signed Jordan Mason. It makes sense for them to get a highly paid backup running back because Jones is hurt so much. So I just like I'm always fearful where like if I draft Jones, I want a good third running back. He's usually my RB2, but like if I draft Jones, I want a good third running back as insurance. Kind of like the same thing with DeAndre Swift, but like to a slightly greater expense because I believe Aaron Jones is slightly older than DeAndre Swift, if I remember correctly. I think Aaron Jones is he's 30, whereas DeAndre Swift is he's 26, yeah. So quite the difference. So yeah, Aaron Jones at 30. It's kind of weird that they're 4 years apart. I thought they were like 2 years apart.
Swift's only 26 years old.
Yeah, 26, and Aaron Jones will be 31 before Swift is 27. So it's like almost 5 years apart. So yeah, that worries me. A 30-year-old running back. They tend to break down, and Jones has broken down in the past. So what are your thoughts on Aaron Jones? Because I have drafted him. I'm going to guess like 22%. Let's see. 14%. Okay. So not as much as I thought, but what are your thoughts on Jones?
I have him in 23% of my leagues. So, I think he's not on my list, but he very well would have been like an honorable mention. Yeah. So a lot of things you said, I'm hecka confident in him. He's a great player. Loved him in Green Bay. Mm-hmm. Confident in the offense, mostly confident in the coach. Yeah. And where he's being drafted, there's no reason why he shouldn't outproduce his ADP. But what if the young quarterback is not quite ready? Or what if there's injury risk? Or what if the team loves Jordan Mason and they get Jordan Mason involved? Like, Jordan Mason had some really good moments in San Francisco. Yeah. And so I think there's some reasons to be nervous, but yeah, I've drafted him in 23% of my leagues.
Yeah, even higher. I thought it was like 20%, but it's 14. So maybe I shouldn't be too worried, but he is definitely high upside, high risk. So all right, who's your number 4?
My number 4 is Mr. Juwan Jennings, who you already alluded to earlier.
Okay.
Let me see what do I have him in. I love Juwan Jennings the player. Just watching him play, he's a great receiver. He's not elite, doesn't have elite talent, but he's a great route runner. He catches everything. He's kind of a gamer. He's got like that attitude that I think great receivers have. And so I think I love the offense, obviously the offensive scheme. Quarterback should be fine. If everyone's healthy, this offense should produce. So I feel confident in him. I have him in 40.
Oh, Kenny signed off. I assume he was going to say 46%. It was almost a cliffhanger there. Kenny came back. There you go.
There we
I
go.
think he clicked off.
My internet, I don't know. My internet cut out.
You said 46%. Juwan Jennings.
Yeah. I've got him in 46% of my leagues. So yeah, if my nervousness is the contract, obviously, is a situation that's okay. It's come up, and what if the offense just what if McCaffrey stays healthy and gets a bunch of targets, like you said?
Right.
What if McCaffrey gets injured again, and that tanks the offense, and then the offense struggles, and then they can't move the ball, and they're not scoring touchdowns? Like my nervousness on Jennings a week ago was like 1%.
Mm-hmm.
It's grown to like 10%. Like,
Okay.
Now, and so I would have seen myself like drafting him less. The other thing is his ADP has dropped significantly over the last week. His ADP a week ago was 66 overall. It's as of today. I think he's at 74 overall is his ADP now.
Yeah, because the holdout, the holdout scare.
I've not seen any player drop like that this season. That's the biggest drop. Well, Junkins probably.
Junkins, yeah, he's good. He was like available in round 9 tonight. I was like, no thanks.
Yeah. By the way, I haven't drafted him even one time yet. So
I have him 6%.
So I'm just like, with Jennings, like because of it, I drafted Jennings 80th overall, like 2 days ago, which is like he just doesn't like he should not be here, and I'm like this is phenomenal value, and then in the back of my mind I'm like maybe everyone knows something you don't know, Kenny. Maybe there's a reason why he's available 80th overall.
Well, he's falling because of the holdout scare. I think that kind of terrified people. I don't think he's going to hold out. I think he was maybe messing around or just kind of testing the waters or something. There's not much to hold out for. Like he's had 4 great games in his career. Like there's no reason to do that. I don't know. Maybe he's insane and does it, but I'm not too worried about that. I think that we can get him for value here. I just think that like the McCaffrey stuff is what worries me, because like McCaffrey from all accounts is healthy now, and he can siphon a lot of targets. But like I said, I think he's going to get hurt at some point anyway. Like he hasn't finished 3 out of the last 5 seasons, so like 60% chance according to history that he will get hurt and miss significant time. So
yeah. Once
that happens, Jennings will do very well. I'm like mid-round 7 seems like a great bargain for Jennings. I agree with where you took him. So right. My and by the way, to quell any concerns about the Niner, any Niner, they have the easy schedule I've seen in my life. They really like they outside of the division, like the 2 Rams games. Like even like the other 4 games in the division are easy, but like outside of the 2 Rams games, their toughest game is at Houston. Like it's such a cupcake schedule. It is so absurd how easy that schedule is. So he'll be able to get open and stuff against just the bad defenses. You'll see. All right, so my number 4 is another running back, this time in the AFC North. It's Caleb Johnson. I've been drafting Caleb Johnson more often lately. I think that there's a good chance that he kind of usurps Jaylen Warren, because, like, Jaylen Warren has had like so many opportunities to play. to play over Najee Harris, and that never happened. It's like Najee Harris wasn't that good, so like why couldn't he pass Najee Harris on the depth chart? Maybe it's the Steelers coaching staff being stubborn or whatnot. But I've Caleb Johnson 8%, which is like, it's not a lot, but like it's something that's growing soon. So I feel like it might be in double digits by the time the season starts. But there are two worries. Obviously, first you have billionaire offensive coordinator Arthur Smith. By the way, can you believe he's worth $3 billion? Arthur Smith.
I love it.
He's like, what if he gets fired? He's like, nah, I'm gonna buy the team. What do you think about that? So like Arthur Smith, I don't trust him to get the ball into the best player's hands. Also, Jalen Warren could just hold on to the job. And second, someone brought up this point to me, and I hadn't considered it, but it just kind of like been sticking in my mind. Like Aaron Rodgers is such a stickler for like the details and stuff. Like, what if Caleb Johnson like blows an assignment, and Aaron Rodgers is like, give me the veteran, give me Warren, I want him on the field. And it's like, okay, suddenly these Caleb Johnson shares that I have are worthless, or almost worthless. So I imagine that you don't have much Caleb Johnson just because you like Jalen Warren more.
But I drafted Johnson one time.
Yeah. So as like someone who's been drafting him recently, I'm now more worried about him. So yeah, what do you think?
I've only drafted him one time. I don't know if he's good or not, so it's hard for me to say. And this is probably not the last time you're going to hear the name of a Steeler running back in this show.
All right. Well, I'm interested to hear about that, but no, I love Caleb Johnson. Just watching college football. I know you don't like to watch college football, which I don't blame you. It's like sometimes it can get pretty rough, but like his tape was amazing. I was surprised he went round 3. I thought he was going to go round 2. So I love the tape. Like if he goes like late round 7, round 8, then I'm willing to take him. But I do worry about that. What should Hill go for in Dynasty? Is that Tyreek Hill?
Taysom Hill?
I assume it's Tyreek Hill. Dynasty, I mean, he's 31-year-old receiver who relies on speed. So I don't know, man. I don't even like him this year in redrafts. So I would not touch him because like someone's going to take him before you're willing to, if you have the right read on him. Yeah, Tyreek Hill, he's saying. So where would you draft Tyreek Hill in Dynasty, Kenny? Was like round 5 or later? Like because he's not going to get to round 5 because he's such a big name.
Yeah, what do I have? Like let me see. Like overall, I have him like in redraft. In redraft, I'm fine drafting him in the 3rd round, late 3rd. I'd be fine to draft him there. In Dynasty, maybe a little bit, maybe in the 4th. I don't know. I in Dynasty leagues, my edge, by the way, in Dynasty is that I don't care about I just like people way overestimate the future. And I'm just like, you still have to win now. So like I trade away future picks and rookies all the time. Like if I were a baseball GM, I'd trade away all our prospects every year at the trade deadline. Like that's me. So like I think too many dynasty players overrate the future.
I have not. I used to be in a dynasty league, and then I quit because they were like the commissioner was such a douche. Like I told the story before, but we had to submit our keepers, and like he brought out like the rosters for the upcoming season, and like all of our players are dropped, and I'm like what happened? And he's like, I didn't get your email. And like I had a co-partner in the league, and he sent it to the wrong email address. And so I'm like, he forwarded to him. It's like, hey, I sent this to someone, it's not like we just completely forgot about it. He's like, can you just redo it? Cause like, we want to keep these guys. And he's like, no. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like we spent like 3 years building this up, like just because of a mistake, like of an email being sent, like you're going to just ruin our team. He's like, yeah, those are the rules. I'm like, all right, well, we're going to quit. So good luck finding someone new. Like good luck finding someone new to take on a new team that has nothing. like adios. So that was my one experience with like a dynasty league. So, what do you have Tyreek Hill in your fantasy rankings? I have him 17th.
Overall, or receivers?
Receivers.
Oh wow, you have him really low.
Yeah.
I have him 13th.
Okay. Well, it's not that like it's not that much of a difference. I no, I'm way down on Hill. I'm trying to trade. Yeah, I would trade him like try to trade him for like a third round value. I mean, try to see what you can get. Like maybe someone in your league loves him and you can get a second round value
Yeah.
for him.
I think your better bet is to try to package him and move up. Like rather than trying to get an outright pick for him, you're probably not going to do that. Like
yeah,
if you can, because it's a big event name, can you move up in the draft?
yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, something like that for sure. I would try to move him. Okay, so your number 4 is my number 4 was Caleb Johnson. Your number 4 is Juwan Jennings. You're up to your number 3, correct?
Yeah, my number 3 is Mr. Jaylen Warren. We've already alluded to him. Yeah, I think Jaylen Warren is a great player. I've been the president of the Jaylen Warren fan club for several years. I own him in 36% of my drafts. So more than a third of the time I'm drafting him. Finally, Najee Harris is out of the picture with Aaron Rodgers. Maybe the offense will be functional. Maybe not. Who knows? But this is the year. This is the year the Jaylen Warren takes the big. Oh, wait a minute. What? I'm getting something in my ear here. They're telling me that they drafted a running back. Oh, never mind. I should be at least 5% nervous, and that's what I am. Yeah, I think he's great, but I am a little bit nervous. There's a part of the back of my head. I keep thinking to myself, if he couldn't hold the job away from Najee Harris, will he be able to hold off this rookie that's supposedly good?
Yeah, look, it's definitely it definitely concerned that he didn't do it over Najee Harris, and I think he should have. But I'll go back to what I said about Aaron Rodgers. Like Rodgers loves guys who don't make mistakes. It's like Jaylen Warren won't make mistakes like that a rookie would. So he could get some more time than he probably should. But then again, Mike Tomlin was talking about Caleb Johnson. He said he can handle a full workload, which could be like coach speak garbage that we hear, during the June and July months where, they're interviewed and they have nothing to say. So they just kind of like praise their players or criticize their players depending on how they feel that day. So I don't know how much I'd read into that. Like probably nothing, but it was at least like something that I heard about him. So I definitely funny that we feel worried about both our steal or running back picks, which is interesting.
Yeah.
All right. So my number 3 is CJ Stroud. Is the only quarterback on this list. I have CJ Stroud in a bunch of leagues or a bunch of drafts. I took CJ Stroud in 19%, so nearly a fifth of my drafts here. And his ADP is kind of insane compared to what it was last year. Like he was going like round 6 last year or something like that. Yeah. He's now going like round 11 or sometimes round 10, round 11. So this seems like a great value. And normally I'd be like, this is amazing value. Let's buy low on this guy. He's just a terrific talent. He should bounce back. Like, yeah, he lost 2 receivers, but they drafted a couple of receivers as well, and then they signed Christian Kirk. So like there's a lot of upside here, but the problem is it's kind of twofold. One, the offensive line is it's just not very good. I didn't think it was the worst offensive line in the league, but someone, I can't remember who, like this big publication published their offensive line rankings overall, and they had Houston as the worst offensive line in the NFL, which I don't agree with. I probably, if like off the top of my head, I'd rank them like 23rd, 24th. I wish I could ask Jacob about this because he ranks his offensive lines. But I think they're not good. Like they at least have a couple of decent players, but overall it's definitely gonna be worse than it was last year because Laremy Tunsil's not there. So if Stroud's getting like no protection, if they're right, then he's gonna have a rough year. And the second thing is he had this like shoulder soreness thing going on. I haven't heard any updates on it, but like anytime you hear shoulder and quarterback, you kind of have to be a little bit concerned. So I was higher on Stroud earlier. I think my ownership on him was like in the 20s. Now it's 19%. So I haven't been drafting him as much. What do you think?
I think you are right on with everything you said. I've not drafted a ton of Stroud, only because in that range I'm typically drafting Jordan Love. And so yeah, we kind of already talked about that. But I think Stroud. Yeah, I've gotten quite a bit of Stroud. I got quite a bit of Nico Collins. What do I actually have? Let me double check. I've drafted Nico Collins quite a bit. So I actually have Stroud in 20% of leagues. So
we're the same percentage. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was kind of surprised by that. I guess I didn't realize. Yeah, but I will. My number one. I'll tip my hand. My number one player is a Houston Texans player on my list.
Oh, I wonder if it's the same guy because I have a Houston player at number 2. So let's do your number 2, and maybe we can join my number 2 with your number 1.
My number 2 is Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara is one of my favorite players of all time. Like he's not just in football, in all the sports. Like Alvin Kamara is one of my top 5 favorite athletes I've ever watched play. I love his style. I've owned him a ton. I'm always higher on him, and I feel like he pays off. I had him in a dynasty league. I've had him in a keeper league. I've owned him in our 3 years in a row in our redraft league. I now am drafting him in. I own him currently in 39% of leagues. When I get into the 4th and 5th rounds of the best ball drafts, Alvin Kamara is almost always on the board, and I'm just like, he's just too good. And I don't care what the situation is. They could be good. They could be great. They could be terrible. He's going to produce. Except he's going to fall off the cliff at some point, right? Like at some point, like there's going to be a step back. At some point, the offense is going to be, and like I think this will probably be the worst offense he's ever played in, with the worst quarterback he's ever played with. And so I am a tad bit nervous that either father time or bad offense will just catch up, and it will be enough to kind of kill his value. And almost 40% of my leagues.
Jeez, I have him in less than 1%. It's one of those less than 1% guys for me.
Wow.
He's gonna be 30 next week. I think like sometimes I feel like he's younger, but he's been around for a while now, and he's been such an electric player for so long. He's been awesome. But the age is becoming a concern. The offense itself is a huge concern. I've ruled don't draft players in bad offenses, and the Saints might have one of the worst offenses in the NFL. Even though Kamara's there, Kamara gets hurt a lot. And like this is another point. Someone brought this up to me too, and I didn't think about it. And like I was like, man, I'm glad I didn't draft Kamara, because like this point that was made is like terrifying. He said, like, how if assuming they're going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL, like, are they really going to push Kamara in like week 15, week 16, week 17 in the playoffs? Like, because at that point, like, what's the point? They're going to be going for one of the top picks in the draft.
Right.
What if Arch Manning's coming out? Like they're going to be going for Arch Manning. The connection with his dad, his grandfather playing there, and like. Even if not, like there's still Garrett Nussmeier, so there's some good quarterbacks coming up, and like really, like, why would you push a 30-year-old veteran that late when your season's down the drain? Like, why not give Kendre Miller and Devin Neal some looks to see what they have in the future? Like maybe he still plays, but he's like maybe gets like half the touches he normally would. So come fantasy football playoffs, like this team's bad. Like Kamara just may not do much at all. So that really terrifies me too.
That's why I'm a little bit nervous. That's why he's on my list. Number 2.
Yeah, it makes sense. The boss asking.
He's my favorite. I just love watching him play. He's so good.
Yeah, no, he's great. There's a lot to worry about. Can we find Jacob's offensive line rankings? I want to see where he's the Vikings. I don't think he's published them yet. He usually publishes them in August, so that maybe check with Jacob then. He's on Twitter and stuff. Usually like tweets stuff out like when he publishes it, so you'll be able to see it. I wish he could still come on the show, but he works for USA Today, so in his contract he can't come on other shows. So that's why he had to step away. So maybe. Yeah, maybe I would say like hopefully one day he'll be on, but then like I don't want him to lose the job. So like it's like I don't want to say that. Maybe in the long distant future he'll be back on the show. All right, so I'm curious to see if your number 2 is the same as my number 1. My number 2 is Joe Mixon. Is that your number 1?
That is my number 1.
Okay, well it's your number 1. So I'll let you take it away, and then I'll add to like whatever you have. So why is he number 1 on your list?
Well, first of all, he's owned in 50% of my leagues. And so, yeah, I mean, yeah, so it's a lot. I've drafted him quite a bit. I have him ranked ahead of Kamara, but I think his ADP and consensus ranking is slightly below Kamara. And so when we get into that 4th or 5th round, there's a bunch of leagues where I've drafted both of them, obviously, because I've got Kamara in 37, 39% and Mixon in, 49%, 50%. And so I've drafted a bunch of leagues where both of them, but Mixon's my number one. And Mixon's my number one running back in a lot of leagues. There will be a couple times where I go running back early and I get Mixon as my number 2. Yeah, he's my number one guy. And you mentioned all the reasons why. Joe Mixon is an awesome player. He's fantastic at lots of things, including beating his girlfriends. He is he should not do that. It's bad. That's a wicked thing.
Yes.
But he scores. But he is on the football field. He is one of the greatest players of the last few years. I think he's perpetually underrated. He has a nose for the end zone. He was great for that offense last year. However, all the reasons you pointed out for Stroud are the reasons for Mixon. Like, if Stroud takes a step back, if that offensive line is just terrible or worse than they were last year, which very well could be, having lost Tunsil, like, it could just be a total mess. Mixon played behind some bad lines in Cincinnati for several years. But this could be worse than that. And he's older. And so I love him. I think he's great. I'm going to own him in every season long league, probably. I'm going to continue to draft him in best ball. I think he's a great player. He looked great down the stretch last year. He looked great in the playoff game. I have no reason to believe he's going to take a step backwards. But in the back of my mind, I keep thinking to myself, what if that offensive line is just a bunch of turnstiles and he can't run the ball at all?
Yeah,
so I am nervous.
Yeah, it is troubling. Laramie Tunsil being gone is just such an issue. He was one of the best, not the best. He's not Trent Williams, he's not Christian Darrisaw, he's not Penei Sewell, but he's definitely up there. He's like in the second tier, like the great offensive lineman on the left side, and he's gone. And they replaced him with Cam Robinson, who's just a mediocre player, and the other guys, like they signed Trent Brown, who's like always injured, and the interior is just very shaky too. There just may not be a lot of run blocking, and so that worries me. And you brought up the age; he's gonna be 29 next week, so not quite 30, but he does have a lot of carries under his belt in his career. So yeah, so that could worry that could weigh him down. And also a new offense coordinator. Like what if they as bad as the old coach was, like he stuck to the run. Like he would run, like it would be like 2nd and 12, he would just run the ball, like he just would feed Mixon so much. Like what if they pass more this time with CJ Stroud? So all these things worry me about Joe Mixon, but I do like him a lot. I'm drafted in about the 28%, I think. Let me see, with 26%. So not as much as you, and I mean that's why you have him number one, but like I have him drafted like quite a bit, and I do like him with the value. Like sometimes he sneaks in around 6, and like he should not be going around 6. He's too talented, but the team around him might suck, so that is a big issue. So it's a scary player, but a player who can do really well for you too.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've even drafted I've had Nico Collins sometimes, and I draft Mixon. One time I didn't mean to do this. It wasn't intentional. Or sorry, I mean it was intentional, but I wasn't planning to do this. I got Nico Collins at the bottom of the first round, and then I was in the 6th round, top of the 6th, and Mixon was still there. I'm just like, I don't. But I'm like, okay. And then I just drafted Stroud and Kincaid. I got 4 Texans on that roster. So
Schultz, you mean, right?
Oh yeah, Schultz. Sorry. Not not Kincaid. Kincaid's Buffalo. Yeah, Schultz. I've actually drafted Schultz quite a bit, just on his own as my second tight end often. But yeah, drafted Schultz in that league. So
you drafted Jalen Noel too, like a bunch, right?
Oh, I have. Although I've slowed down quite a bit because I've read some stuff on him that I didn't love, so I've slowed down quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, well, Christian Kirk has been Stroud's safety blanket apparently. But he's by week 3 he's going to get hurt. So like Jalen Noel will step in there. Yeah, no, I think that's a fine strategy. Like usually in redraft, you don't want to do quarterback plus running back unless the running back is like an Austin Eckler who just catches on passes. Not Eckler now, but like Eckler like a few years ago. That's not good in redraft, but like in best ball, I think it's fine. In fact, like I think it's really good because you just want to stack. You want to have this like great stack going for you, and like especially in the playoffs when you just need to outscore these great teams, and if you get to the championship, it's like a free for all 1,000 person tournament. And if you're doing the $2 million contest, it's pretty insane. Even the other contests, like it might be like 80 people in there, or 100 people, or like 40, even 40 or 50. Like it's a lot of people in there, so you just have to have the best team possible in week 17. And I don't know, the Texans play in week 17. I would love to see that right now. So maybe that'll make us feel better if they play a soft opponent. Not that like we necessarily know the strength. So here's some good news. Week 17, they play the Chargers. I think the Chargers, outside of the Bengals, they might have the worst defense in the NFL. So that's that it could be a reason. Yeah, it could be a good reason to draft these Houston players despite the concerns we have with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before I get to my number one, Von Miller thoughts. I posted on the site. I gave the Redskins an A. Assuming this is not a big contract, I would assume it's like a 1 year $5 million or 1 year $4 million type of deal with like no downside. I feel like it's all upside. Like Von Miller obviously is not the same player he once was. Like I mean, he's 36 now, so he's way past his prime. But he still had 6 sacks last year. He still contribute as a pass rusher, a situation pass rusher. Play like 15-20 snaps per game. Like he's going to give you like good snaps in those 15 to 20 snaps per game. And the Redskins needed to upgrade their pass rush. So it's like the one area they didn't upgrade this offseason. Like they had a great offseason. They got Laramie Tunsil. They got Deebo Samuel, even though like Samuel's not the great fantasy player. He's like better in real life. They got some other good players like in the trade deadline last year. They got Marshawn Lattimore, so they strengthened cornerback. So I like a lot of the stuff they added. They just needed to upgrade their pass rush, which they didn't do in the draft. But then now they got Von Miller as like temporary fix there. So I liked it a lot. I mean, for a team that's going to be in contention, at least I think so. To add a veteran who can help like be a good role player, I think is a great move for no risk.
Yeah, I agree 100%. If you're getting, again, as long as they didn't give us some huge amount of money. But whatever, like it's Josh Harris is a multi-billionaire, like the owner of the Redskins. Who cares? Like,
exactly, yeah. Yeah, he doesn't care. Hopefully, he goes back to Redskins. It sounds like the momentum's pushing it that way. Sue says Chargers defense worse than Panthers. How's that possible? Well, Panthers added some stuff this offseason. They got Derek Brown back from injury. Like that was a huge loss last year. They lost him like week 1 or week 2, and like he was their best player. He was out. So he's gonna be back. They added Bobby Brown, Sean Wharton, Trayvon Merrick. These are good players who are gonna make their defense better. I'm not saying their defense is gonna be even mediocre. Like I still think they're gonna have a bad defense, but maybe instead of like having the 32nd ranked defense, they go to like 27th. And so like they don't get torched every week. They just get torched by the really good offenses and the mediocre offenses. But like against the bad offenses, they can hold their own and win those games. So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're still going to be the worst. But Bengals would be the worst. The Bengals, like, did you see that Shamar Stewart might go back to college?
Yeah, I mean, what a disaster. The Bengals are dumb. They're such idiots.
Yeah, and like Trey Henderson, they're lowballing him, even though he's one of the best edge rushers in the NFL. Like this team is just such a joke. Like I was thinking about this, like if Joe Burrow wasn't there and they had like even a mediocre quarterback, like if they had like Derek Carr, if he's still playing, they had Derek Carr there, like this team would be like 4-13, right? Like 5-12 at best. They're just awful, like just absolutely awful.
What a laughing stock.
Yeah, it's Burrow's just carrying that franchise. It's just really like if it wasn't for him, they'd be a complete non-factor. But with Burrow, like they can be competitive every week.
Yeah.
All right, my number one is someone drafted in round 1, and I drafted him a lot earlier in the draft process, but ever since I just kind of thought more and more about this player, I haven't drafted him at all. I've kind of like passed on him, but I still have decent amount of shares on him. That player is Puka Nacua. He has a few things here. Like first, he has this injury history. Obviously, he hasn't played that long. He's played 2 years, but he's gotten hurt. He got hurt last year. He was out for a while, and I worry about that. Another injury to be concerned about is their left tackle, Alaric Jackson. He's going to be out for most of the season. He has blood clots in his lungs. So it sounds awful. So hopefully, he makes the recovery. But like, missing their left tackle is a huge deal because like he's a good player and like they don't have good depth on the offensive line. So that's going to be a big downgrade. So we don't really know how the protection is going to be for Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford could get hurt. Like he tends to get banged up a lot. Like it's usually plays, but like usually like has like he's always on the injury report with like thumb or something. And it's like, is he 100%? We just don't know. And then they signed Devontae Adams and the Cooper Kupp was there last year, but Cooper Kupp was just decrepit. And now, like, Devontae Adams has been a number one receiver his entire career. Like, what if, like, Adams demands the ball and stuff like that, too? Like what if Nacua just loses his target share, is not a number one that we think he is, and he's like, and he and Adams are both, like, 1.5s. And so, I don't know. Like, if I get Nacua, if I'm, like, on auto draft, I forget the draft started, and like, I get Nacua, I'm like not upset about it, but I do have concern, and I put him at the top of the list because he's in the first round here, and it just worries me that like someone in the first round has this many concerns. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey does too, but like that we know that, but like Nacua, I like has these things that like I feel like people don't think about, and so like I don't know. What do you think about the situation?
I'm not nervous about Nacua, actually. I'm a little surprised. I mean, I've drafted him quite a bit. Let's see where I'm at. I'm getting him late first round. I think all the points you make are valid. He was just so good down the stretch last year. I only have him in 15% of leagues. That's mostly because if I'm drafting at the bottom of the first, I'm almost always going Brian Thomas, Malik Neighbors, or Nico Collins. I've got all those guys above Nacua. I think Nakua's game is great. I'm not concerned about Adams. I'm not as concerned whenever I have an opportunity to draft him.
Okay. I'm more worried. I had him in like 15%, I think, and now it's down to like 8% because like I just haven't drafted him a lot recently. So I mean, I'm usually like I'm definitely Neighbors over him. I'm Brian Thomas over him. Nico Collins. I don't know. Nico Collins has those concerns with the Texans too. Ashton Genty's been falling. So like if I sometimes get him in the beginning of the second round. By the way, kind of a side note here, Charlie Campbell posted a video about like fantasy football rookies because like he was asked because I mean he obviously scouts these players and writes about them, and so we do a fantasy league with the Walter Football employee league. There's no entry fee. It's just for pride. And so Charlie does some fantasy. He said he would not draft Ashton Genty until the 4th round because he talked to, he has sources everywhere. He has good sources with the Raiders, and the Raiders said that it's going to take a while for him to meet value. Like you're talking about Genty. And I was thinking, like, what if in like week 1 we see like Raheem Mostert 16 carries, Ashton Genty 13 carries? Like how panicked would Ashton Genty owners be?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So that is something I would be worried about with Genty. And I don't after hearing Charlie say that, I don't think I'm going to draft Genty anymore. I know like some other people are really high on him, and I mean he's a great talent, but I know you're not as high on him either. So
no, I mean I've never seen him play in the NFL. Like he's never like
right.
Well, yeah. I thought you were going to say Saquon Barkley actually. So when you said first round pick. Because for me, Saquon would have been on my list, but I only have him in 15% of leagues. So,
what I have Saquon? I have 13% of Saquon. Yeah, you know what? He probably should have been on this list too. There's a lot to worry about Saquon Barkley, right? Like the workload last year.
That's the major thing for me. That's my concern for him.
Yeah, workload last year. I don't believe in the Madden curse, but like, no. Well, think about it this way. Like he's doing stuff for Madden on a day where all of his competitors are working out, and like, well, at least most of them are working out, trying to get better. Whereas like he's doing Madden stuff, So it's like I don't blame him for doing that. It's the pinnacle of his career, like winning the Super Bowl. Like
he's all I don't know about that.
Yeah. I don't. Well, I mean, still, like the other guys are hungrier, whereas he is at the top. Also, but like we've seen like LaDainian Thompson stay at the top for years and years. So I'm not saying that he won't. Also, Mekhi Becton's gone, so he loses an offensive lineman, new
Yeah.
coordinator. We don't know how that's going to transition. Like it's like small things here and there. They kind of like add up. But I've drafted him 13%, so I'm not concerned about him. I'm more worried about Nakua than Barkley. Like I think there's a better chance Barkley meets his first round value over Nakua.
Yeah. For me, if I just if I had the first or second overall pick, I was drafting Saquon quite a bit. I just haven't drafted there a lot, so I haven't had him. I think Saquon's great. I mean, he's just a freak talent, all world. He might be the most talented running back over the last 20 years. I mean, just he's unreal.
He's I think he's the best player in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, his just talent level, his training, his work ethic, and like his focus. The offensive line is phenomenal. The situation is great. They're going to continue to rely on the run. There's like all that. There's great reason. He is, to me, the safest in season-long leagues. He's the safest first-round pick. He's the one I feel the safest about. Every other guy has some question mark that makes me nervous in the first round. But every single time in NFL history, we've seen a running back with this many carries, they've either gotten injured the next year or had some significant step back. And you can't ignore that, right? Like you can't totally and so if you're a Saquon owner, so anyway, for him, if I owned him a little bit more, if I owned him like 20%, he easily would have been on my list.
Yeah, it's tough to own any first rounder at 20%. Although I say that, and I'm going to look at my league neighbor's ownership, and I have him 24%. So it is if you draft someone a lot in the bottom half of the first round, no matter where you are, then you're gonna have 25% over it.
Well, I've got AJ Brown. I got AJ Brown 29%. Although that's a lot of second round, actually.
Yeah, the second round. What do I have AJ Brown? Let's see. Dude, I've at 29% as well.
Nice.
There you go.
We mentioned Noel earlier. I'm at 28%. I'm looking at the other Justin Jefferson 15%, Malik Neighbors 14%, Nico Collins 14%. Yeah, those are I've got several guys in that rest. So yeah, it's hard to crack 20% with a first rounder.
What's your Jamar Chase ownership?
Not a lot because I've not drafted a lot in the top of the. Let me see.
He goes 101 most of the time. So that's
I've seen him go as late as like the third, or I've actually seen him go the fourth pick. I couldn't believe it.
Okay, I saw him go 103 the other day. But he's almost always 101.
Yeah, I had the first overall pick in a draft where I took Barkley. The second pick behind me was Bijan. The third pick was Jefferson.
Okay,
and then Chase went fourth. I think that's the latest I've seen him go.
Well, I saw a draft you saw too where Lamar Jackson went number 2. So
yeah,
it's weird things happen at night. I love drafting at night. It's the best.
I can't. Where's Jamar Chase? I can't find them here. I don't know.
You may have not drafted him because you've taken Barkley at 101.
5%. I have him in 5% of leagues.
Okay, I'm at 4% Chase.
That's so basically 3 times out of 63 I've drafted him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've drafted him 101. That might not. I think I drafted him 101. I've not had the first overall pick a bunch. So one time I took Barkley, or one time I took Chase, and then all the other times I've had the first overall pick, I've taken a few times. I've taken Barkley.
Okay. Well, if you've done 60 drafts, you should have it 5 times. But obviously it could just be less. Yeah. Anyone else interesting ownership? Because Garendo is still 70% for me. Higbee 68. Like my top 5 is Will Shipley 57%, Tyler Algier 55%, and then Jalen Wright 39%.
That's what's my Jalen Wright is now at 26%. I think. Yep, 26. So quite a bit. My number 1 overall player right now is Keaton Mitchell at 58%.
You love Keaton Mitchell. I have Mitchell at 13%, so I do like him too.
I just keep drafting him like he's if he's there on the 20th round, I've drafted him in the. I don't usually draft him before the 19th, but basically the 19th round. If I get there and he's still there, I've seen him go. I saw him go in the 17th round a couple of days ago. I was like, "Whoa, that's really early." But
I saw it too.
Yeah, but I've seen him 17th, 18th round. If he's there in the 19th, I take him every time. So
And look at and why not? I mean, he can hit home runs all the time.
Yeah.
Like he's just such an explosive player.
he's a perfect best ball player.
Oh yeah.
So, my second most owned player. Okay, I have a wide receiver. Has not been mentioned on this show tonight. But yeah, I wonder would you know who my most owned wide receiver actually is? Have I told you?
Huh.
It's so ridiculous.
Was he late round pick? He's got to be late.
Yeah. He's like very late.
Is Dontavian Wicks?
Yeah, it's the Vince Wicks.
Okay, yeah.
Because I've drafted Jordan Loves a bunch. I'm just like,
yeah, it makes sense.
I always.
Kenny's gone again. So, unless Kenny comes back, I'll talk about some. There he goes. Here he is. It says device not connected for him. There we go. He's back. Second time.
Internet. What the heck, man? The internet just like my Wi-Fi just cuts and then like cuts back in immediately.
Strange.
Yeah. Anyway, because I've drafted Love so much, I almost always trying to get one Green Bay receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Wicks is just there, So like my last two pick rounds 19 and 20 are almost some combination of Mitchell, Wicks, and Taysom Hill. Two of those three guys. I got Taysom Hill in 45% of leagues.
Yeah, and for me, it like dictates which quarterbacks I've drafted. So like if it's Jane Daniels, I go Jalen Lane. If I get like Justin Herbert, it's Keandre Lambert Smith. If it's like a quarterback you can't really stack with, it's like Marquez Valdes-Scantling. Although Marquez Valdes-Scantling went in the like 18th round in the draft that did tonight. I'm like, why are you doing this?
I have Scantling in 34% of leagues.
Nice. What is my ownership? I have him 24. I'm 24%.
I have him 34. He's my fourth highest owned receiver.
That's so funny.
Wicks, Jennings, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Valdes-Scantling, Michael Pittman. That's my top five.
Nice. My top five receivers. Ricky Pearsall 35%, AJ Brown 29%, Jawan Jennings 26%, Emeka Egbuka 25%, Jackson Smith and Jigba 25%.
I love it.
Yeah, Alec Pierce is also tied for 25%, so he's I guess number 6. And then Malik Neighbors at number 7. So like all my guys, they're all except for Pierce, they're all early players in the first 8 or 9 rounds.
Oh yeah, that's funny. Yeah, all my. I mean, Anthony Richardson is my number one owned quarterback, but I'm drafting him late.
Yeah, he's number 2. He's number 2 for me.
My running back Keaton Mitchell, like Bigsby, Stevenson. Like I'm drafting guys really like Quorum, Hunter. Like I'm drafting all these guys late. Jaleel McLaughlin, Will Shipley, Jalen Wright. Like those are all my highest owned running backs. They're all those are all late round guys.
Yeah. All my running backs are all the running back who's not is like my top running back who's not late round is DeAndre Swift at 25%, and then I have Pacheco 21%, and then Tyron Tracy 20%. So
and then at tight end, my number one owned tight end is Dalton Schultz. I have been in 49% of leagues.
Well, you know who my own my highest owned tight end is.
Yeah, Mr. Higbee.
Tyler Higbee 68%.
Where do I have Higbee at now? My Higbee for me is at where do I have Higbee? Quite a bit, 25%.
I saw Jordan Rodrigue is this reporter. She's pretty horrible. She said she reported today that Terrence Ferguson was going to be a stud for the Rams. I'm like, yes, Higbee is going to be great because Jordan Rodrigue is always wrong. So there's some shade tonight for Mr. Jump Cuts and Jordan Rodrigue. I didn't mention Mr. Jump Cuts' real name. I don't know. I still don't know if I should. I don't know if I want to start a war. I don't. He probably. I don't know. He uses AI. I feel like he is AI. like he's not gonna be able to see it. Or I guess if he is AI, you might see that I said it. I don't know.
Gotta love it.
He's a fellow Penn Stater. I'm kind of hesitant to call him out like by real name. But if you ever watch a fantasy football video and like this guy uses million jump cuts per video, that's Mr. Jump Cuts that I've been talking about.
You gotta love it. I
Yeah,
love
I
Walker.
actually just commented on one of his videos and I'm like, holy jump cuts, Batman. Anyway, last thing before now, Slew commented. We had a couple comments. Shamar Stewart could probably make as close to as much money in college and signing with the tightwad Bengals. That's probably true. And then who are the logical candidates, if any, to sign Keenan Allen? You may not know yet because it might be an injury. Like his team suffered. There's injured player like the guy we have on the screen here, Puka Nakua. What if he goes down? Like I feel like Keenan Allen is kind of like a logical fit for that team. As far as like any other teams, I don't know. Can you think of anyone? Maybe
I thought the Bills. I thought the Bills were going to be a team in the mix.
Yeah.
If they don't like their receive. They didn't do anything substantial to address the position.
I think the Steelers make sense. Going with Aaron Rod maybe follows Aaron Rodgers there. I think like they don't really have like a slot receiver that it's like a logical starter there. Like their number 2 wide receiver is either Calvin Austin or Roman Wilson, so they could definitely use receiver help. I think that makes a lot of sense. And like with Rodgers, maybe Keenan Allen thinks they're a Super Bowl contender. I feel like I would have mentioned the Jets because they need receiver help, but like why would Keenan Allen sign there? Like they're just not a contender. They're not going to be a contender this year. So I feel like any contender that needs receiver makes sense. But I think the Steelers really stand out to me. But again, like it just takes an injury and like a team will be interested. Like he and Amari Cooper, I think. I think Allen will take priority. Although they play different in different spots on the field. So it just really depends on like who suffers the injury or what happens. Yeah, I think
I'm surprised Redskins didn't. I think he could fit with Jaden Daniels in that system and be a safety blanket kind of guy.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Although Zach Ertz, I don't know, Zach Ertz pretty much fills that role.
Yeah. What if Ertz gets hurt? Maybe they sign Allen. They did sign Debo. Or they got Debo in the trade, but like still they could use the third receiver. My Jalen Lane ownership will take a hit there. He's pretty like athletic. I think that if you draft Jane Daniels, I think Jalen Lane in the 20th round makes sense. I think he could win the number 3 job there, and with his athleticism, maybe he does stuff downfield. So I'm in 7%. So I guess those are the teams. But like I said, all it takes is an injury, and then like there will be a logical spot for that. Is Kenny ready for the Microsoft Windows 10 to 11 caper?
I have no clue what you're talking about.
Yeah, I didn't either until Stu brought it up to me. I didn't think about it, or I didn't ever heard about it. But apparently, in the not too distant future, I think it's October if I'm not mistaken. Like computers won't be compatible with Windows 10 anymore. Like they'll need to be upgraded to Windows 11. I don't know how like. Doesn't like make sense to me how that would happen because like it's not like I don't know, but I don't know. Maybe this is overblown. I hope not. I hope it is. I hope it's overblown, but I don't know. Worth looking into, I guess, if it's gonna be that bad. Yeah. Anyway, all right. So that's it for the show tonight. Thanks so much, guys, for watching and commenting. Really appreciate it. Let us know, if you're watching this after. Let us know in the comments who you would have as. I love this guy, but ... please hit like, subscribe, comment below. Share this video. Visit the link in the description of the merch store. Visit wallstreetfootball.com for tons of content, all free all the time. And visit Kenny's website. It is thecapsfake.com. Kenny, do you want to talk about your website here or anything else?
No brand new content, but there's lots of articles there on various topics related to the salary cap, fantasy football, business stuff, and of course, WNBA players are actually overpaid. You should check that out. It's probably my favorite article I've written.
Real quick, two things. One, did you hear the Shane Gillis joke about the Caitlin Clark that he said? He said after Caitlin Clark retires, she's going to work at Waffle House so she can continue her career of getting punches from black women.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, you said it at the is at the ESPYS, I think. So, and number two, something to watch out for if you're a degenerate gambler like me. The WNBA, I think like I've solved like a betting secret here. WNBA blowouts. So these happen, obviously, sometimes, whatever. There's like no scoring. If the game is a blowout in the fourth quarter, there's like no scoring at all. So I've been live betting the under. I live betted the under of one of the games today. I think it was like the noon game. And the under hit by like 12 points. Like it wasn't even close. So that's something to keep. I've looked at like past history. This wasn't just like on a whim. If there's a blowout in the WNBA, like there's just zero scoring because like the league is so top heavy, quote unquote with talent, but like the bottom of the rosters, it's not like an NBA team. Where like the NBA team, like the 10th player, 11th player, 12th player, they used to be like stars on their college teams. But like WNBA, like there's just nothing but scrubs there, like at the bottom of the roster. So like they just can't score. And so if there's a blowout, like there's no scoring. So I've been past few days, I've been betting the under in these blowouts, and they've all hit. I think one missed. I think I'm like 5-1 with these live unders. So just look for like final minutes of the third quarter, beginning of the fourth quarter. Just look for those unders. So that's something to keep in mind. So.
Nice.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching once again, and we're gonna be back tomorrow. We're gonna do some best ball drafts with a new guest, and then Saturday we're gonna be back with Tom.
Fancy.
Yeah, well, he's been on. He was on once before a while ago, so he's making his second visit to the show. Yeah, and then on Saturday we're going to be doing. I think we're doing cover calls to Cash Your Puts with Tom. Going to talk about how there's free money in the stock market that no one is taking advantage of. If you don't know, as a sneak preview, in the stock market you can actually get paid to buy stocks at a lower price than what they are listed. People don't know this, and when I tell people, they're like, "What are you talking about? That's not possible." And I'm like, "I do it all the time." And there's zero risk if you're just going to buy these stocks anyway. So we will be talking about that on Saturday, and I'm sure some usual nonsense as well. So we'll be back tomorrow, guys, and I hope you have a great night, and I'll talk to you later.
You the man, Walt.